Alright, so I got this old model out and I was testing the waters on the geometry and was planning on redoing the hair because I used Fiber Effects strand tool to create this hair, and I got a much better way to do it now, and I was going to redo the eyebrows and everything, but the geometry isn't very morph friendly. I've been having problems with it, and so I'm going to kind of fix her with doing a face rig, a different kind of face rig. I already did a blink here where it changes the eye blinking here. I figured, well, I better jump in and record this what I'm doing because somebody out there might be able to find this useful. And so I got like a bunch of different bones to allow me to move different parts of the face. I can wiggle the nose a little bit if you need to. It's not very good because of the topology of the mesh. It's not very good to do exaggerated facial movements, but you know, almost just mostly anything within the human more realistic realm of like a human face muscle movement is totally capable with this the way I have it set up. So I have it so all these different parts move with bones, and I have morphs too, but I'm going to focus on the bones and the making these controls so I can more easily do certain bone movements. So let's just jump into that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a null. I'm going to call it open mouth. Go ahead and move it on up here. Keyframe it. Zoom in on it. I'm going to turn off the rotations. I'm not going to use. I'm not going to use scale. I'm not going to. I might move it again. Hold on a second. Let me make sure that it's pretty even with this one. Doesn't have to be exact. I'm just going to make it close. And I'm going to turn these off. And then I'm going to go over here and I'll show you the item shape. Oh, let me just copy this and put it on this one. And I'll go ahead and there you'll see my settings. And I'm going to name this open mouth. That should be good. And then I'm going to go to this bone right here and open the mouth. And you can see the bad deformations here at the edge, but I'm going to fix that. I'm going ahead and I'm actually going to keyframe this at keyframe 10. Okay. And then I'm going to right click on this going to move it down some, keyframe it at keyframe 10. Same thing here, move it up some, keyframe it at keyframe 10. I'm going to do the other side. I'm just eyeballing it. It doesn't have to be precise. Keyframe it at keyframe 10. Oops. So I did big no-no and keyframed it at keyframe 0. I'm just going to rotate this back down to where it was and keyframe it again where at keyframe 0, and go ahead and move this to 10. Move this up somewhere. Does that look pretty good? Now, you don't really open your mouth that big. I just wanted to exaggerate it a little bit in case you needed to a yawn or whatever. So go back to this bone right here, the first one, and I'm going to add a modifier, the Cyclist, and I'm going to make the controller that null, open mouth null. I'm going to use the bank angle on that null. I'm going to make the limit, the range on it from 0 to 90 and turn the repeat off and say OK. Should have this null controlling that. So I want to go in to the controllers and limits and change this to 0 and 90. Let's see how that works. So it actually is fully extended at about 30 degrees, so I'm going ahead and change that second number to 30. So I'll know to keep it in that range, and it works pretty good. Okay. So you can see the other bones aren't moving. So I basically have to do this for all the other bones. Now this is a complicated one because it is the mouth and there's a bunch of bones on there. So I'm going to go copy this, copy, and I am going to, I don't know if I can paste it on the multiple ones. Let's see here. Does it paste to them all? Nope. Which one did it paste to? There it is. It pasted to the last one, so I'm going ahead and manually paste it to each one. You know what? I don't know if I told it the keyframe range. I did not. That's why it was wrong. set the limit. So let me go ahead and change this to 10 on all these. Because I did that keyframe at 10 on all the movements. That's why I'm changing this. Okay. Not sure how far I got here. I think that was the last one. I accidentally moved it. There we go. So you can see they're moving down. The bottom ones aren't moving up yet. Let me change this controllers and limits to 90 now and see if it makes a difference. Yeah, it did. So the full range of motion is back in there. Okay, so let me go and copy this again, but with the correct settings on it, and finish the bottom. That's better. Then I can use a little bit of morphing to try and clean this up. You can attach that with the in the morph mixer. You would add the morph mixer to the object, and then inside that you would add the modifier in there. Trying to remember what the name of it is here on the channel. You would add it at the cycler right here, and this is how you would control it with the rotation and the frame value right here, 1 through 10 or whatever. I'm not going to do this because I don't want it set up that way, but you can add it to that controller that way also, so you can have your morphs in there. You could do a separate movement. See, I have my this is where my starting keyframe for the animation would be, because I'm doing some movements up here between 0 and 10. The blink is between 0 and 10, and the mouth open is now between 0 and 10. So if I was going to animate anything, I would start from keyframe 30. This is where I would start my render and everything. All my calculations from this is now my new 0 keyframe, because I have those Cyclist or cycler keyframes up here. And if you want to add the Cyclist. I should have called it the Cyclist. If you want to add a different movement using a different controller, you would use the same method, and you would just change where the start frame is. So you would, since you're using 0 through 10 here, you might have to move your initial frame back. Say because I only have this one movement in here, but if I'm going to put several movements in here, I might want to start all the way at 90 or 100 for my animation. But say I want to put a ooh or an ah, I could put it starting at 20 now, and put the ooh right in these keyframes, and go ahead and add a second Cyclist modifier that has that range from starting from 20 going to 30, and pointing it to a separate a new controller that would be called ooh mouth, and still using the bank angle, but that's entirely up to you. If you want to use the pitch or the whatever, you can, and just make sure that you have your stop behavior on. I mean, there is reasons to use repeat, but just be aware that that can give you problems. If it'll repeat when you get to 90 degrees, it'll repeat. So that could screw up your animation. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully that'll get you started on like doing a different kind of face rig. I have a rabbit, it's going crazy. He's over there nuts. He wonders who I'm talking to. So let me go ahead and show you also like the rest of the rig movement. Something else I did there. I'm not using any weight maps on this whole rig, so it actually moves pretty good. And this is one of the things about Lightwave that's awesome, is you really don't need weight maps. You can get away with all kinds of stuff without weight maps. But like even with this armpit here, there is a bone that's hiding. Let's see, where would it be? There they are. There's these two bones right here that hold this in place pretty good, so that I don't know how many of you other users have had this problem, but when you rotate this arm out, it causes all that geometry to move right there. But if you put that bone right there, it works pretty good for holding everything in place. Got everything set up pretty good. There is a tutorial, I think it was Larry Schultz or whatever, he did and showed me how to do these toe and toe kind of wobbles, making things move from different controllers down here on the foot. You can see the targeting and the parenting lines, so you can tell what's doing what here. looks pretty good. Alright, got a little off topic there. Yep, maybe I'll show you how I fix her hair sometime in the near future, and all the controllers I put on, how I fix her eyebrows and everything. Got any questions, ask in the comments below, and don't forget to upvote any Lightwave tutorial, because that's how YouTube puts us ahead of everybody else. It'd take a lot to get ahead of some of the other 3D packages, but anything helps. You guys have a good one. Thank you.